Why do we have such evil laughs?
Well, I'm the hyena and you're the cute one.
The amount of Instagram stories you have sent me when it's like you, me. Anyway, my loves, welcome back.
Welcome back.
As if that was not going to start that way.
Yeah.
When we have not sat down in front of the mics in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Guys, it has been 9 weeks for me. So, no, 10.
Or 12?
No, I was gone 6. Let's go through it. I was gone 6 weeks. I recorded the week I left. Like I was still doing 2 or 3 before I left. So we had all of them. Yeah. And then I've been home 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 weeks. Okay, we're back.
I don't even have to do an intro.
I know. Yeah, well, yes. I am here with the bestie. Hi, best friend.
Hi, best friend.
And I cannot wait for this episode.
Yeah.
You know how excited I have been.
Yeah.
And only because, firstly, the assumptions actually weren't that crazy.
No, they're not.
Like they're so accurate. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Some of them definitely aren't. And I'm actually really not grateful, but like, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm pumped to clear that up in a sense. But I think if I did like a NGL, like an anonymous one, oh.
Yeah.
But I just don't fuck with that because I cannot be fucked with the haters.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the psychopath?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Nah, that's why I never do it.
Yeah, yuck.
They would just be
Fuck
like,
those guys.
like they would be.
You don't get access to us anonymously. Assholes.
So that's why I'm always like, come at me from the front.
Yeah.
And I will address it. So today's episode, if you have not figured out, is all about assumptions. I'm going to apologize a little bit if you can hear it in my voice. I am like fighting something. I think it was just because I wasn't speaking up, which I just did today.
And you absolutely. I literally walked in with my phone with your Instagram stories going like.
I'm here, sis. I'm taking on the government.
And then you were trying to talk to me and I was like, can you stop talking? I'm trying to listen to you. And you were like, oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I like literally that was exactly how it went down. So no, because I've honestly been feeling it I'm actually going to take it to the podcast. Like I am going to have a massive chat about it. But yeah, I feel like I've been holding this for like weeks and I was like, I'm just angry. I'm going to share it. So, but excuse my voice. We're going to do our best because our best is all we can ever do. So let's dive in.
Let's go.
I know them all, obviously. Like none are going to be a shock because I did the assumptions on my Instagram.
Yeah. I just don't know why I always have to go in for like the savage ones first.
You're a filthy bitch.
No, this isn't even filthy, but I'm just like, yeah, all right, well, let's go here. So this one says, sometimes your drive/ambition comes from a deep-seated fear of men holding power over you.
Oh, I remember reading this and like having a moment with it. Like I was like, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, read it again because I remember this hit.
Sometimes your drive/ambition comes from a deep, this says seated, but I'm pretty sure that's meant to be seated.
Seated.
Yeah. Sometimes your drive/ambition comes from a deep-seated fear of men holding power over you.
I did lament over this when I received it because I was like, oh, provocative and powerful. And I think like there was no black or white answer on that. I was like, I really looked at that because obviously my entire life from birth, I had been abused in some way, shape or form from men. But where I would land with that is no, definitely not. It doesn't come from men, but it definitely comes from, in the beginning, I pursued success and money from pain. It was never pleasure. And now I solely only do it. Like I'm not moving away from pain. I'm literally just moving closer to pleasure. Whereas back in the day, being a young girl, being stuck in abuse, watching my mum have to stay because we had no money, like all of that. I remember being a young girl thinking, in a sense, I mean, yeah, it's not that men had power over me. It's that like fucked situations had power over me. So I think my deep-seated like drive fundamentally in the beginning came from the desire to move away from pain because I was in so much of it. And now it's just this beautiful, like, I'm moving towards pleasure because we're always doing one or the other.
Yeah.
We're driven because we want to move away from pain or we're driven to like move towards pleasure. And mine in the beginning was pain, and now it's all pleasure.
And I think even also too, like you said, it's not about necessarily having a fear of men or of men having power over you, but it's that you just have such radical responsibility that, like, things may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. So it's like you have the power to make decisions and control the direction of your life. And so you just want to make sure, which everyone should fucking make sure, is that you are the one who has the power over you in your life, and that is no one else has the power over you in your life. Yeah. Except for maybe when you've got a toddler, but that's okay.
Yeah. A 2-year-old. A 2-year-old.
They control you. Yeah. Trust me. No,
I will learn. I will learn. Okay. You're like, ha ha ha. No, but really. Seriously. I'll be there one day.
No, but I think like that's a powerful thing to be like, well, yeah, like it's not that you're coming from a place of fear, but it's coming from a place of like, I won't give my power away to anybody.
Yeah, it's the anybody piece. I loved that assumption. I actually was like, oof. But I remember reading it, and I actually sat with that one. I was like, is it? Like, is that something I'm actually just not aware of? And I really did land in that. It is that. It's just like, it's the anybody piece. It was I just genuinely moved away from pain, and now I move towards pleasure, and it was radical responsibility. I was literally just talking to my sister about this the other day. Like she was like, why are you so different? Why do we have the same childhood, but you're fine? And I'm like, because honestly, it's just radical fucking responsibility. And that was the key difference between.
And you chose not to be a victim.
Yeah. Ever.
Yeah.
Until I was 22, I was a massive fucking victim. Poor me. Until I wasn't.
Your bullshit radar is fire. And even if you're unsure, you're still aware something is off.
Take that to the bank. Like psychotically, like psychically.
Yeah. And we've spoken about this with Kel before.
Yeah.
That it's something in your...
It's in my human design. Apparently my sacral something. But to the point where, like, and this is part of my human design apparently, but this was such an affirming moment for me when Kel did my human design, when she was explaining whatever it is, like my sacral something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what permission? Because to answer that, no, you're absolutely right. And those closest, it is like a psychic ability, but it's actually just part of my human design in a sense. Like I feel things that I just know. It's a knowing that I cannot explain. And actually when I feel that the most is when I know I'm like the most in the truth of something. I remember I'll never forget. I remember meeting my sister's ex, and also I knew, by the way, let me say, I fundamentally knew my own ex was a fuckhead. Like immediately, like I knew that, but I was just so wounded and in the shit of it all that I kept ignoring the signs. And then it got to a point, and we talked about this yesterday, where I was like, I just deserve it. Was then like I was hurting myself, choosing to hurt myself as well, because that was my wound, because I thought I deserved it because I'd hurt my ex. Like it was like, well, you know, this is just my comeuppance and some karma for the minute, and I know I'm going to get out of it soon. But like I deserve this, which was such a bullshit story I told myself. But yeah, so I knew that about my fuckhead ex too, by the way. But I remember meeting one of my sister's exes. I won't say who. I wish I could. And he was so nice, like the nicest guy you'll ever meet. All my brothers loved him. My mum was in love with him. I cannot explain it. I walked in and it was like my soul's energy body like met the devil. Like it was like, oh, like I felt sick. My energetic body couldn't be near him. And he was doing all the right things. Like he was like amazing. And I remember we went to have dinner and I dragged mum into the kitchen and I was like, I am not sitting at the table with this man. She was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, he's the devil. Like he's evil. And she's like, explain this to me, because my mum's amazing. And she's always like, tell me. Like, okay. And I said, Mum, all I can explain is what I see and how I feel. And I said, I feel like he has a black soul. Like he has black inside of him. Like he's the devil. Like it's evil. And she was like, what the fuck? Anyway, cut to narrator. he was the devil. So yeah, like it's just, it's inexplainable. And I
Yeah.
can call it when you're being nice as pie or whatever else. It's like something's wrong. Yeah. So yes. Correct assumption. Ding,
Yes.
ding.
I'm gonna say this one because I'm like, I know this, like as a bestie, that this isn't true. But then I'm also like, but also I've seen you share about this. So I'm like, let's clear this up. You have something against Arabs. Never share anything about Palestine or Lebanon.
I didn't see this. I never saw this one.
And I've seen you share. So I'm like, this is absolutely not true.
Absolutely not true. No, I have nothing against any race or religion. I am the most chill, loving, accepting motherfucker on earth. And I have definitely shared about Palestine. But I think for me, I've always said I'm never going to be the account that's ever going to post for your pleasure. Like I'm also never going to take on the responsibility of the darkness and all evils of the world. So I have absolutely shared about Palestine, but I know that some people get very, like they got really fired up about that with a lot of accounts. Like, how dare you not? But I'm like, how dare you think you have a fucking say? So no, I do not hate Arabs.
And also, like, when you're someone who is like speaking to these things, like the internet is fucking savage
and psycho.
And sometimes you may personally not be in an energetic like space to be able to like handle that fucking backlash. So even though you might want to speak on it, or you might have your perspective that you want to share, or you want to bring light to something, sometimes you might just actually be like, you know what, I just can't handle what will come from this right now. Amen. Because like I've seen this with you. Sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
I'm always damned if I do.
Which means you just have to do what you think is right.
Yeah.
And sometimes that also means honoring where you're at and what you need. And just because you have perspective on something and you feel passionately about something doesn't always mean that you need to have a voice. And like, because you might not actually have this fucking space.
And I pick my battles. Like, I will definitely say, like, I am very Australian centric. Like, I live here. I love here. I pay fucking a lot of taxes here. And I think that the government isn't focused on Australia. And I think that right now, what's pissing me off is, like, for example, the government is sending more aid to Israel, for example, to weaponize them, to obliterate Gaza and Palestine, which is disgusting and abhorrent. But if I took that on, like, and I don't take anything on lightly, I think that's my, like, I'm about to wage war against the government, like, who are protecting pedophiles. Like, that's my current fight. That's where I'm at. But it's like, and then imagine if I took it all on. And every race, every religion, every war, like, there's so much fucked up shit going on in the world every minute of every day. It is no one's responsibility to take that on and use their platform to share that. But I get it. Like, people get very passionate about, like, feeling like they like can project their own, you should post about this and say this. And I'm like, cool, bro. Use your platform. But no, I'm not against anyone.
And it is really overwhelming. I remember, I don't know, it must have been a reel or something that I watched one day. And it was like, as a human race, like we weren't meant to be able to know all of this. Like, but there is so much information and there is all of these, like, there's the internet and all of this, everything is at our fingertips. Like, we're not meant to absorb all of that fucking trauma and all of it. Like, for me, like, mate, I'm just trying to catch up with my 6 best friends, plus look after my children and run my businesses and do my job. Like,
you know, Katy, you walked in today and I was like, I was like telling her some things about like the world, and she was like, I'm just so grateful I have you as a best friend. Like, you keep me alive and safe. And I was like, yes, babe.
Because I live under a rock.
Because she goes, I live under a rock. And I was like, stay under that rock.
Yeah. Like, I love my rock.
Stay there.
Yeah.
It is so safe.
In the company that I worked at before I left them to come and work with you, I don't watch SpongeBob, but there's like a creature on SpongeBob that lives under a rock. And that's what they used to call me, because they would be like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I was like, there's tornadoes where? And they're like, don't you? And I'm like, mate, I just don't care to know.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve me.
Amen.
And like, I'm one of the most consistently like regulated, happy people ever. And it's because I only concern myself with the things that I feel like with my pragmatic brain matters. Yeah. And if it's not important to me and it's not affecting me, then I don't waste my time with it. But we are absolutely different people like that, so I'm grateful I have you. Because when shit fucking goes like, sis, we got to go to the bunker and we got to go now, I'll be like, oh. Do we have
And
water?
Yeah. I'm like, big dog's got it.
We go now.
We go now.
What's this for? What happened?
Yeah. The world's ending, babe. Get in the fucking car. At least you got a tank.
Yeah, I got a tank.
Like literally.
Okay. We are going to move on to this one's actually interesting because I just want to hear like your straight off the bat response to this. You've always had a great group of girlfriends.
Absolutely not. No, definitely not. Definitely not. At the time when you're in the friendships, you think yes. But absolutely not. So like quick answer, no. And also, I mean, I think I've talked I've touched on over the episodes, you know, my story with like friendship breakdowns and friendship breakups and betrayal.
How to connect with your soul friends.
Yeah,
soul
how to
sisters.
connect. That's right. We did a whole, like we answered a question on that, but no, definitely not. But what I will say, so no, that is a wrong assumption. You are incorrect. But I will say that I have definitely never stopped pursuing like the sisterhood and healing the sisterhood wound and landing in the space we are now, like our group of besties. Yeah, it's unfuckable with. So, but that was like a relentless pursuit of finding the women that mattered the most to me and then pouring into them. And that's why, guys, I don't have time like to be anyone else's friend. I'm really unapologetic about that because I'm like, the love that I pour, like my inner circle and my besties are it, guys. Like that is all the time I have between everything else. Yeah. And that's all I give. That's all who I give a fuck about. And then I give so much for free in terms of Anna everywhere else, like the podcast, the email now, like everything. It's like, and then my besties get me. So no, but I definitely have not always had. I could literally do like a whole series on how shit some of my girlfriends have been that are absolutely no longer in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to
the smile. The smile, man.
Let's do 2.
Okay.
You have sex daily with this emoji. Hang on, wait, why don't my fingers spread?
Dead. I will say, can I say, honestly, the 2 biggest assumptions on me, and I know we'll do the other one, was like my fake tits. Or are they fake? Which blew my mind. We will get to that one. And this sex one. And then I shared some people's assumptions and the fucking besties entered the chat. And they were like, whoa. No, but let's talk about it because sex is so important.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
That is absolutely a correct assumption, but it's like more than once.
Yeah.
My loves.
Well, let's group these ones together.
Once a day would be torture for me. Like I need it more than that.
So that you are wild in the bedroom.
Correct.
You have sex daily.
Wrong, because more than once.
Where's some of the other ones? I've just skipped past them, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of those.
No, so I like obviously I regularly talk about this. I am absolutely not backwards in coming forwards on this conversation. I always am honest and open about sex and sexuality and expression and sensuality, bringing out the inner slut. We were just talking about this. We'll do an episode on that.
Yeah,
for sure.
You listened to that podcast that I shared with you about like being a slut, and then
Katy came in and was like, "You got to listen to this episode."
Yeah. And then we'll riff on it.
Yeah, and then we will riff on it. But no, I have always been sexual. I like in all my relationships, and then I found the king, and it absolutely went up a notch. And I have no shame around it. I don't hold shame around it. I'm happy to talk about it. I think it's really important. We always say if you're not horny, you're not healthy, which I fundamentally agree with. I'm well aware I don't have kids yet, so I think yes, when I have kids, it will probably go down to once a day. Not 3 to 4. But yeah, I think as well, like I've always said, and this will activate some women for sure, but if this is you, like lean in. If you aren't fucking or making love, if fucking is just so antagonizing towards you, but if you're not making love to your beloved or partner or husband or boyfriend, then you know your roommates. Like your roommates. And it matters and it's important that that's kept alive. And if it's not, like that was definitely part of the end of like, it wasn't the thing, but we knew it was done when like the connection when that was happening wasn't there anymore. I was like, oh, this is done.
Mm.
Because like it was so important to me, and it was important. It's important to every fucking man, let me tell you. Well, you know this. So yeah, I think for me, I prioritize sex so highly and sensuality and sexuality because A, I love it, and B, it's really important to the man. And I think for me, it's really about me, to be honest. I just find I love I like sex. So yes, I am wild in the bedroom.
When someone says that assumption of like you're wild in the bedroom, like what do you think they think wild is?
Like, it's just like a bit of a, and I use this
She's
word
a freak in the
positively.
bed.
Yeah, I'm a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets. I'm not even really a lady. No, but like to give you context, I remember when Ryan, like, I'm sure I can share this. But I remember when I was like, I am going to marry this man. I think you remember the FaceTime, and like he had come over and like thrown me around the house and like flipped me up like a stripper move. And like I was on his shoulders.
He magic mic'd you.
I've got magic mic'd on like the second time I had ever consummated my love. And I was like, marry me. So yeah, I think freak, I don't know. It depends on people's assumption or definition of freak in the sheets, but I'm not vanilla. I'll say that.
I think someone would be like, actually, I won't say that because then
What? Say it.
Oh, it's just gonna be like to me, like if I was like, to me, wild is like positions, toys,
Yeah,
props, role play.
Yeah.
Like not a lot off limits to me is wild.
Yeah.
But like normal.
That. But I will say as well, like Ryan and I are actively having conversations. So first of all, I'm a phenomenal communicator. Like, so when I met, like, these are conversations you can have with your partner. Second of all, I'm well aware, and this is really important to me, like women's health, right? So I always think if you aren't horny, say, like if you don't naturally lubricate, if like I don't need lube, I don't use lube, if that is going on for you, like go and get your hormones checked with your naturopath because every woman is actually insatiable, every human, but women predominantly, we are insatiable creatures. Like we are actually insatiable. And 9 times out of 10, to be honest, if it's not you, because it's not, like 9 times out of 10, it's like your connection's gone with your partner. They're too far and they're feminine, so you're repelled. The what do I say? The duality has gone. So the polarity has gone, right? So typically it's like to do partner to partner. But then the last thing is if you just genuinely aren't horny, then it's a hormone thing. And that's really sad. And that's so normal. Like so many women, if women are not feeling it, then it's hormones. And like I said, I also want to preface it by saying it might not be your hormones. The polarity may have gone in your relationship. The communication may have broken down. You may just genuinely not be sexually attracted to your partner anymore. Like bang, 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 bang. And if all those things are covered and you actually do love your partner and you do find him attractive or her, or it's just genuinely, you're like, I just don't feel it. Honey, like go and get your hormones checked. Go and see a phenomenal naturopath, have her do your bloods and get yourself minerally and vitaminally balanced again, because it's not your fault but it is your responsibility, right? To feel whole as a woman. So yes, to answer that question. Yes.
And like we spoke about this, I think, on the last Q&A podcast that we did, but we did the second one, which was the spicy one. And you tapped me in as like, as a mother.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because you always get hit with that to be like, well, wait till you have kids. Mate. And we have had very many conversations about this. And but I'll also never project onto you. Yeah. Because everyone's experience is different as well. But I know that even in the depths of like being tired and all of the things, like there's 2 parts to what I want to say. The first one is there's a part to showing up in your relationship, and also sometimes just putting the reps in. And just like also just having like, if you're always but I'm tired, but I'm tired.
Finish that sentence, because you always say you sometimes when even you don't feel like it as a mother, you put the reps in and then you're like, oh, I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the second thing to that, which comes off the back of it, is sometimes when you've not been sexually active for a while, for whatever reason, hormones, relationship, polarity, stress, trauma, like whatever, like sometimes you also just need to remember how good it feels.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to this about to so many women about I encourage women that if you are in that position and you're sitting there being like, I can't believe she has sex multiple times a day. I couldn't even do it daily, or like, I don't even, like, whatever that is for you. Like, I believe that you need to like reignite that pleasure, excitement. And I believe that comes from like
Self.
exploring it within yourself.
Self. Ryan literally actually asked me the other night, just before he flew back, he's like, baby, when did you get your first vibrator? I was at 18. It was a dolphin.
Same.
Like, I knew everything. I was like,
mine was purple.
I was like, it was a dolphin. It was like hectic. It was like, because I laugh because I'm making him watch again. Nobody Wants This, my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there's like a dildo scene in it, and it's called The Obliterator. And he was like, "What's a dolphin?" I'm like, "Picture The Obliterator," and I'm pretty sure it was like that. But he was like, "That's incredible," because he just loves how I take so much responsibility for my own self-pleasuring and pleasure and sensuality. I don't project that onto him. But then when he comes into the picture, it's just 10x.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. And I go into this in so much depth in self-love school. Like there's a whole module that we do on like self-pleasuring, and I say fucking like you love yourself, but making love like you love yourself. And it is such a powerful and
Why do you think people like, because like I absolutely want to be fucked.
Yeah. Why do you think people
and
get
even
so
when
triggered?
and even when it's like really intense and really electric and like really making love, in my head I'm just like, fuck, that man can fuck me.
Yeah, it's never so
that
like,
man is in my husband.
Yeah. We love you, Licky.
My king. But to me, I'm like that. And even when he talks to me and we talk about it, like it's not derogatory or anything to us. Like it's hot, it's sexy.
There's so many layers. It'd be like trauma, upbringing, like just a sisterhood wound, like sitting with besties being like, oh, he fucked me. Like some women crave that so much and can't even admit it, because it's like, oh my God, if I sat with my girlfriends and said that, the judgment or the shame. And then there's the shame piece, and then there's the fear piece, and then there's just like the living in complete misalignment and anxious and depressed. Like there's so many layers to why a woman gets activated by fucking, like even the word fucking like you love yourself.
Fucking pussy slut.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can't say that. It's like, yeah, of course I can. And they're empowering, beautiful, sensual, stunning words, but it just depends on like, and I'm like, it's the hill I die on, because I'm like, I had the horrific upbringing. I had so much trauma, but yet again, for me, and this is my story, no one else's, but I did take that responsibility to go and heal all that. So I like, again, I respect and understand if a woman's like, you don't understand, I have trauma. No, babe, I do. Like I really do. So, but I take constant responsibility. And like the motherhood piece, Ryan actually also said to me the other day, he was like, because already, like, because people are just like sensing it. They're like, they're going to try soon. And we're like, maybe. But I said to him, I was like, I am just not ready for the fucking fuckery of evil that comes from women when you start to be a mother. Like, women are their own worst enemies. Like the biggest CUNTs on the planet are honestly women and mothers. And the projections, like I was like, and so I said to Ryan, like, just the nasty, like someone had DM me the other day and they're like, you're disgusting. I know you're trying. You've got a dried up, shriveled uterus, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm actually going to start outing some of these people. Like, you're welcome to go after them.
Okay.
But I'm like, what woman in her right mind thinks it's okay in any way, shape or form to project anything? Like, and I'm even talking about my love of sex. I am so aware that it will change. And I believe the story I'm telling myself is it will get better once I have children. Now, will it diminish? Possibly. Beautiful. That's that journey. But what I hate is when people go, like, wait till you have babies. Well, that's going to change. Like, or your body's going to change. Well, maybe yours did. And that's cool, babe. But like,
my body's never been so good. And I've had 2 babies in 2 years.
Let me tell you, the besties' bodies are ridiculous.
And I think that's the thing too. Like, when what you're like, I'm not ready for, is not your inner circle, because
No.
We're all the ones that are being like, bitch, you're free birthing.
You're going to be the hottest, fittest.
You are going to be like we're in your corner.
Yeah.
And not like we've all had like pretty good experiences.
Yeah. Phenomenal experience.
And yeah, well, like most of us have all.
Some haven't as well. I will say some definitely have, and it's their stories to tell. But some haven't either. Like we've got like the real mixed bag. Yeah.
But we're just whole enough people that we're not going to like push that onto you, and we want the best for you. But it's online. Like that's where it's like
it's
nasty.
Online. It's wild.
Horrible. Yeah.
But I will say, like, I can't wait to, and I really mean this, like, I can't wait. Like, I'm on the record relentlessly over the years in every way, shape, or form. Like, I can't wait to see who I become and how I develop and what changes for me when I do become a mom. And I'm, like I said, maybe it goes down to once a day, not multiple, or maybe it goes down to a couple of times a week or whatever else. But then how beautiful. That's my journey. And I'll talk about that when it happens. And also like,
and it is seasonal. Like the chances are like if you're that fucking tired and like all of the things, like your chances are like so is your husband.
Yeah.
Because maybe your baby is teething and had this and then this happened and you're in a business launch and again, yes, beautiful, but it's like it's and I think also like something that popped into my head before, that something that's so beautiful about what will be your experience is that you have like phenomenally created a life for yourself where you identified however many years ago that freedom was your utmost value, and you have worked at that consistently, and you now have a life where you're not bound by 18 weeks maternity leave.
Yeah.
You're not bound by like, fuck, I've got to go back to my job and now I'm finding a daycare and now I'm doing this and all of the things that like that's absolutely been my experience, and it won't be on my next baby because I fucking have grown phenomenally. But this is the thing. So it's like, keep your projections.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just having, in fact, you're not going to have fucking 18 weeks maternity leave, because that would probably be an absolute gift for you. But you can't step out of your businesses for 18 weeks at the moment.
Yeah.
But you've built a life where you'll want to work in your businesses.
I said this
and you'll be able to lay in bed while you're breastfeeding your baby. And if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and be like, oh, I've got to pay that invoice, paid, or like whatever it may be. And it's not like, fuck, I've had such a shit night and now I've got to get up and I've got to get myself ready to go to a job that I don't want to be at and take my baby to kindy and then have that horrible separation because they're bullied. Like, I don't want to, I'm going to cut myself off there. But like, that's it. So it's like, you're probably going to have a very different experience to what some of us have had who have had children a little bit younger, that haven't had businesses to support them in that way. And you do have financial freedom. So you will be able to go into your business and work for a few hours, have a nanny or have one of the besties look at, like, your experience is going to be very different. And none of us have lived that. So there's no possible way we can say that to you. But also just like, you're just so aware that it's like, you're willing to honor your seasons. And I think that as a bestie and as like someone who's had 2 babies really close together, like that would be my only thing that I would say to you as a bestie, as some advice would be just honor your season. Like it's all it is. It changes so quickly. You'll figure something out and then all of a sudden that's sweet. And then it's the next thing. So, you do that anyway.
I was about to say, like, even with Ryan recently, like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Like when I'm like recovering from postpartum, I'm like, I am just going to milk the massages.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to be like, rub my feet, like touch, like I am going to want touch. Like that is one thing. But I've talked about this so often, and I know my self-love school girls know this, because in that module, we honor every archetype, every woman, everything. And I say it all the time. I know I'm not a mother yet. However, every time I say this, I've said it on the podcast, I'm like, I know for a fact, even if you were touched out by the kids, you're actually not like touched out by the masculine. If you know it's safe, that he's not trying to shove his boner in your pussy. Like when he's trying to just serve you and hold the space because you're fucking exhausted and you are touched out, but like he runs you a bath, say, and then you get out and you're exhausted and you're sore from breastfeeding. It's like, but you know there's no pressure, because again, the conversation and the communication, which I'm already having with Ryan, like again, because I'm so self-aware of like, it's just massage, and you're not even getting a blowjob. Like you were getting nothing. It's all about me in those first, however, 3 months possibly. And you will just be there to serve powerfully as the masculine and love me and protect me and look after me. And he's like, I can't wait. Like that is our role. And he's like, I'll look after myself. I'm like, damn straight you will.
Yeah.
But again, it's like the self-awareness of having these conversations now. And I used to have them with Morgs, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a very long answer.
That was a long answer. Let's move on. This one, you never doubt yourself.
I don't think I do. I think that's correct. Like I get terrified often. No, do you reckon I doubt myself? I don't think I doubt myself, because I have this thing where I'm like, I never lose. I win or I learn. That's like my thing. I win or I learn. So I don't doubt, like I'll go into any situation or any business transaction or any launch or anything, and I'm never like, fuck, what if it fails? Because I don't believe in failure. So I think if you are attached to the outcome and you're attached to failure and fear of what other people think of you, then you would doubt yourself. But I don't necessarily doubt myself, because I'm like, well, I'm going to fucking win or I'm going to learn. And that's a gift to me.
Yeah.
But I get terrified. I absolutely often, like I was terrified launching Tour. I was terrified launching Tour Collective. Like I put a lot of pressure on myself and I still get scared, but I don't think I doubt myself.
And I think it's just the willingness to be like, well, okay, like you may be like, I don't know if this is going to work.
But I'm going to try.
But we'll fuck around and find out.
That is my
So
ethos.
that could still be a doubt. Like you're still doubting, being like, I don't know if this is going to pull off,
yeah,
or like
I have
whatever.
Those thoughts.
But you don't let it like debilitate you, and you don't let it stop you from you moving the needle, and you don't let it stop you from taking action.
No.
But sometimes, like, especially in business, it's like you have to be looking at the evidence as well and be like, well, this doesn't look like whatever that may be. But yeah, you definitely don't let it make you think, fuck, I shouldn't have done this, or like turn into this self-sabotage, or this like, I'm not good enough. Like your self-worth is great. And fuck, at the end of the day, like at least you're in there fucking giving it all the go.
I'm in the arena.
Yeah.
I don't think I do, because like even doing like what came to mind then, I was like thinking about my first triathlon, and I registered in, I was not fit. I'd never swum, never. I sucked. In fact, I had a horrible swimming. Like I was like year 4 grade level swimming. Couldn't swim, had never been on a proper bike, and could run. Like I'd started to run a little bit, but I wanted a challenge. And so I enrolled in my first triathlon at the time, like 33 days out. The next day I just got in the fucking pool and I almost drowned, but I did it. So, cause I'm like, I'm going to learn. So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't say like I sit there and I doubt myself, but I also think doubt makes it about something external.
Yeah.
And I don't live externally. I genuinely live very internally.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it sounds like you can say that's narcissistic to be like, oh, she doesn't even doubt herself. No, it's because I actually have such a strong sense of self and center that I don't look at, like, I know I'm going to fail and I'm super comfortable with that. So, and then also, like, I remember when I did a lot of speaking, I was always like, I didn't doubt. I wasn't like, oh, fuck, what if I flog? Or like, because then I'm making it about myself. Then I want to be the show pony and it's all about me and how I present myself on stage in front of the biggest stage was like 6,000 people. And before every stage performance, all I focused on was like, this is not about me. Like what comes out, I've done the reps. They've asked me for a reason. So if I had a doubt of myself before I was getting on the stage, then I'm selfishly, that's actually narcissistic in my opinion. Like in my opinion, I think doubt makes it like an external thing versus an internal thing. So
yeah.
No.
I've got 3 more.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up. I'll go here just quickly, just to back off, to come off the back of that one. You don't struggle with anxiety.
No, I still definitely get terrified.
Yeah.
I don't have anxiety as such. I definitely still have moments of anxiousness.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. And I mean like struggle to breathe feelings of anxiousness. But it's just a feeling that wants to be felt. And my trigger of anxiousness is tiredness. So I like my fundamental and main trigger of anxiety is actually just tiredness. So if I'm ever feeling,
she just needs a good sleep.
I just need to sleep. Literally, like give the gal a nap.
Yeah.
So no, not necessarily, but I definitely still struggle. I struggle with every feeling.
But
And
you love your
I love
feelings.
my feelings.
And you let them be felt.
Yes, I still have fear, terror, anxiety,
Anger,
pain, hurt, rage.
joy,
Yeah.
happiness, love. Yeah. Can we talk about your boobs? Because we like
Yes.
kind of brushed over it, but there's a lot about boobs in here.
Yeah.
You don't have a boob job.
I die. So I remember saying to Katy, which I was like, is this a thing? Do people honestly not know that my tits are fake?
They're a great rack.
I love my tits. No, they're absolutely fake. I got them done February 2013. I was 23, I think. I don't know, 24. No, I was 25. I was 24 turning 25. Love my tits. I've had them for 10 years, 11 years. And I'm gonna get them redone. Like I will get my tits redone eventually, like soon. I'll have kids probably and then get my tits redone. I love tits. I'm so aware and I honor self-love and self-worth and all the things. But I love my tits. Like this to me is I love my tits. And also BII, breast illness injury. What is B? Anyway, absolutely true and real. I've just never had anything. I've never had any problems.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fake.
I also love your boobs.
Yeah, I love my boobs. I just love. I was like, people don't.
Also funny.
I don't own a bra.
Like, sis, they actually are like questioning if they're real. Like, and I was like, but they are. They do look really natural.
Because I've had them 11 years. I got teardrop.
But like, have you seen how they sit?
I don't wear bra. I don't own. I do actually. I own phenomenal lingerie. But
that was another one as well. But,
really?
Yeah, there was another one that said that you have a wicked lingerie collection.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And I love to dress up in it and stuff. But that's literally the only time you'll pretty much catch me in like underwear and or a bra. Like I don't own or wear bras.
I've started not wearing bras.
Mate, free the boobs.
I've got empty IV bags.
Free the boobs.
Yeah.
But boobs in general are stunning. No boobs, big boobs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm just like, I have pecs. Because otherwise I would have no shape to my chest.
Yeah.
But like my pecs are literally bigger than my tits.
But I love that. Yeah, I'm all about that.
Give me some good like elevator lighting or like down lighting. And I'm like, oh, look at that.
Living for that.
Okay, let's finish here. Actually, we'll see how long you answer this and then maybe we can
squeeze out another.
Yeah. So this one is, you knew it was over with your ex-husband and you found that relationship easy to let go of.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Like, yeah, for sure. I think like I've touched on this over the years. And I don't actually touch on much to do with that relationship because I do respect and honor him so much. And he never liked the limelight. He never actually liked the limelight I already had, essentially. So I really honor that. But no, definitely. Like we both did. Let me just say we both absolutely did. It was absolutely a mutual, I instigated the conversation. He knew it was coming. We had come to Jesus talks. It was amicable, respectful. And we still, like, there's still a lot of love and respect there today. And there will always be a lot of love and respect there. He is a legend. And I've always said that, an amazing human being. That will always be an amazing human being. But yeah, I definitely knew it was coming. I knew, you know. And I remember when I was going through that separation and then divorce, I remember I was like the poster child. I was like, I don't want to be this like poster child for divorce. But I had so many women coming to me like, fuck, how did you know? And like, I'm not sure. And I was like, sis, like this was my only response. If you were asking that question, it's over. Because a woman that loves, that's secure, because I was asking that question for a long time to myself, not to anyone else. Like, but I was like, I'm just not sure. So yeah, no, I've always said this. I genuinely believe like that Morgs and I honestly had we were soulmates. I really do believe this. And I always talk about, I'll never forget the first time I met him. It was like souls reconnecting and it was part of our like wedding, like vows. But we walked past each other and it was like, hey, like we were like, and we stood there for like 10, 15 minutes. This is the very first time I ever met him. And we were trying to unpack because it was the deepest knowing that we knew each other. Like we were like, no, we've partied before. Like we are mates. Like, where are we from? Like, where do I know you from? And we both felt it. Like, I can't, when you see someone in the street, you're like, hey, like, but it could be like a famous person because you see them so often. Like, it's like, who's that person? That was our connection. And then it was the connection until exactly when we ended. I think I probably knew a couple of years before it was over. But yeah, I think we were soulmates until we weren't. Like, I think we were always soulmates. I just think it was that was our soul contract. I think it was like 15-year soul contract. And we were just two powerful individuals that chose love. I think that's unconditional love, choosing to let go of someone and allowing the person to let you go. Like Morgs was a king, like in that sense. Like I was the one instigating it, but he wasn't like, no, don't leave me, and fighting. He was like, yeah, fair. Right. And I just honor him. I'll honor him till the day I die for that. Like he just let me go.
Yeah.
And that to me was
and both of your lives have completely elevated since. So it was absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and we're still mates. But I don't talk about it because I respect him. And he's a private guy. So he's always been the first person, let me tell you, in any fuckery in my life, online, fucking courts, whatever. He's always been the first one to like pick up the phone and make sure I'm okay. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Legend.
That's all I got.
Love it. I'm sure there was a few more. I can't remember. We're done though. But I hope that you guys like that. I hope that was like, here's the thing I love. I think I wanted to do that. There was some things in there that I was like, but I'm like, I am an open book.
Yeah.
And what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So there was no real like, I've seen when other people do it, it's like, no way, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, no, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely true. True.
Yeah.
But some little things like, yeah, no. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, my
you
loves.
are very much who you are.
Yeah.
In real life. That's what you show up online.
The activator. Anyway, my loves, we will leave it there until next time. Stay wild.
Stay wild, baby.
But if you love the episodes, like if you get value, if you're on my email list and you're getting value out of my weekly emails now, if you love the podcast and you're like, fuck, I get these nuggets of gold when I listen, come and hang out in my inner circle. Like Katy always is queen. She puts it in the show notes.
Yeah.
So if you want to come and hang out, it's $47 a month. It's 90 minutes of live action coaching from me. This month I have 2 calls, so it's going to be fire. Every recording I have ever done is in there. So even if you're listening back to this, October's will be in there. So come and join. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fire.
I'm really excited for your bonus business call. So like if anyone out there like this, I'm so excited to jump on the call myself as well. Yeah. Like if you're a small business owner, you're looking and you're like, fuck, we're in Q4, like Q4, like where am I going? What am I planning for Q1? This will be a really great call to jump on and like get some really tangible, actionable things to jump in on. So yeah, I cannot wait to be on that call.
It's gonna be fire.
And then human design with Kel.
Yes, I'm pumped about.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like I give so much value. So like I begged Kel. I was like, Kel, I know that this is like technically takes clients away in a sense, but Kel was like, of course. But I'm literally having her come on to teach us how to read it, so you can actually become better at navigating human design yourself sovereignly instead of feeling externally putting the power into coaches that can do the readings, and Kel can do that, and I will forever sing her praises. But also I think we should all have a basic fundamental understanding of how to read our charts, and so that's what we're doing this month. So come and join. But until next time, stay wild. Stay wild.